Hello, I'm back to talk about science and social studies. Like we've been doing our past packets, your science and social studies choice board is going to flip flop back and forth between social studies and science. Because it is a choice board, you can decide to do it however you like. If you like to alternate back and forth, that's great. If you want to do all the science first and then do all the social studies later, or the opposite, it's up to you because it's your choice. But these are mixed up, so I'm going to go through them like they are on the board. The first option is the social studies option where you're going to interview somebody about COVID 19. And you're going to come up with 5 to 10 questions that you would ask that one person. So it might be the president, a first responder, so like a doctor or a policeman or somebody who might be impacted. In science, you're going to choose one animal that is a carnivore and one that is an herbivore. So they only eat plants versus a carnivore that eats meat. And you're going to come up with a comic strip detailing their life and what happens in their ecosystem, who their predators are, and how they survive. Flipping back to social studies, you're going to call and interview a family member who has been alive for a long time about their childhood memories of school, their free time, and their chores, and ask them about historical events that they have lived through. So come up with your questions beforehand, and then you can call and ask them. Or it could be somebody you live with now. If you don't want to call somebody, you can ask your parents. Moving back to science, you're going to identify 5 activities that require you to move. So, whether it's on foot, in a car, on a bike, you're going to draw the activity and then label where friction occurs. Brainstorm ways that you could reduce friction and caption your drawing with these suggestions. In social studies, right here, you're going to create 3 trading cards of famous people that you've learned about this year and include their accomplishments. So, kind of like baseball trading cards, if you've ever seen one, they have like the baseball player picture on the front, and on the back, they have all their stats, all the good stuff they've done. So, now you're going to do that for important people we've talked about. So these are some examples of famous people like Thomas Edison, Winston Churchill, Martin Luther King Jr. So you would draw a picture of them on the front, and on the back you would write about their accomplishments, important things that they have done. Over here in science, you're going to review mixtures and solutions. What you're going to help prepare a meal with your family and answer these questions. So what mixtures did you prepare? Did you make lemonade? You made a mixture. What are their Why are they mixtures? What solutions are involved in your meal? You're going to draw pictures and label the different parts and list the ingredients that you used. And then answer, can you separate the ingredients back to their original form? So if you mixed a salad up, can you separate that all back to how it used to be? Maybe. Talk about it. Social studies, right here, you're going to choose your favorite social studies topic or major event from this year. And you're going to create some sort of piece of art that highlights this topic or the major event. An example of this could be when we did the Industrial Revolution, our immigration unit, Spanish-American War, when we talked about World War I and II. It could be a poem, a drawing, some sort of art piece. You can get as creative as you want. In science, you're going to be doing a dissolving experiment right here. In social studies, you're going to think back to all the people we have studied this year and imagine that you could sit down and interview one of them. Who would you want to meet, and what would you want to ask them? Think of at least 5 questions. Moving on, science is another dissolving race, part 2. So it's going to continue from the part 1 up here, that one. Social studies, you're going to be thinking about the Industrial Revolution and the Roaring 20s and the inventors and the entrepreneurs that came up with all these new things. And you're going to take a tour around your home and make a list of items that you see that were created during those time periods. Of course, they've changed since then, but they were created back then. These 2 science activities, we'll get to these 2 in just a second. Social studies, you're going to write a paragraph explaining reasons for leaving one's home, which would be a push factor in traveling to America. So what pulled them to come to America? So you're going to create a list and form a paragraph of why people would want to leave their home and come to America. Over here, you're going to create a comic strip about the experiences of an immigrant coming to Ellis Island in New York City, which you guys went through a simulation of that. And then over here are 2 more science activities that are going to talk about what are solids and an activity with wet jeans, which is kind of interesting. So think back to when we talked about different forms of matter. You guys should know what a solid is. And if you have any questions with science or social studies, please let me know. Good luck, everyone.